Welcome back.
Cool. Yeah. So, and that was on my Hot Grill account. So I've been playing on both accounts now since I got one back to Platinum 2. I started playing the other one. And I went
Okay.
2-9 and 3. And yeah, I don't know if that one's worth watching. I had a game where I died 8 times on Ari, though. That was fun.
8 times. Okay.
Yeah, we
So
should probably
let's
watch that one.
go to the replay.gg.
Yeah, and that's on Hot Grill. But other than that, I've lost one game on Ari, one game is Pantheon, and one game is LeBlanc. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games. I have 10 wins and 4 losses. 3 losses? 4 losses. No, 3. Yeah.
Okay. So what were some of the games that would be good to review?
2, 8, and 4. 11, 7, and 14. I've actually been losing to
Two,
Fiddlesticks a
2, 8,
lot.
and 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Fiddle isn't too much of a problem because he's not seen all that much.
I've seen
It's really that you
him.
have to. The biggest problem with Fiddle is like there are certain champions in the game that like make you change the way you play, and Fiddlesticks is one of them. And if you don't like respect a Fiddlesticks, if you don't respect a Rengar, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, same
you'll
with
get
Vi,
like
right?
yeah. If you don't respect the Vi, if you don't respect a Twitch AD carry, like a lot of these champions, even like Twisted Fate, you don't respect TFL, like. A lot of the or Shen, any of these like global or stealth or kind of like champions, they change the landscape of the game. So it's not that they're particularly overpowered, although some of them are. It's just you have to change your mindset when playing against them.
Yeah.
And so that's what you're having trouble with. Not necessarily that you have to like actually ban them.
It's not necessarily me that has trouble with it. It's usually like
Yeah, the
teammates.
team as well.
Yeah, cause like I'm ready for the Fiddlesticks ult and I'm like looking for it and like even though I know it's coming, like a lot of times there was like nothing I could do because I was so far behind. Cause I was against
Mhm.
Zed, Kennen, Fiddlesticks, MF, and Tom Kent. So like
Oh yeah, those
I
comps are.
was like, what do I even build? I need like an Abyssal, Azanias, a fucking Giants. I almost built
Okay.
a Warmogs, like, cause I was
So
just like, I don't
in
know what the
those
fuck to do.
particular cases, you build against what is the most immediate threat, aka the person who's strongest, and then ignore the rest and say you have to outplay the rest. Okay?
Yeah,
That's the only thing you can do. So you build for what you can't outplay, and then the rest you just say, I have to outplay this.
cool. Are you
Right?
sharing?
So yeah, as soon as it actually starts. So basically, like let's say what was that comp? MF,
Uh,
Zed.
MF, Kennen, Zed, Fiddlesticks, and Tom Kench.
Yeah. So in that particular case, what you would have wanted to do is just build Zanyas and just say, if I get hit by fear, I die. Like,
Yeah,
like it's one of those things where like QSS wasn't gonna save you in that particular game.
yeah,
Like, even though that's like pretty good to have against Fiddle, and like again, you can't build enough MR to survive that. So all you needed to do is the only defensive item you get is Zanyas, and say, I'm gonna have to have perfect Zanyas timing, and then outplay Zed with Charm, and that's the only thing I can really do. So this is the actual game. I'm a screen share.
all right, cool.
All right. So you're up against Zed. I've actually been picking Ari into Zed lately. I don't actually think she wins the matchup. I just think she's like capable of winning it, if that makes
I
sense.
feel like it's like LeBlanc. Like if you
Yeah.
don't get killed pre
Uh,
six, you can run away with the game.
it's definitely easier than LeBlanc. I would accrue it more to like a Syndra, where like you can outplay the Syndra, but you could definitely like lose to it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So like,
Yeah,
it's a skill matchup where you're definitely not like fully in control of it, but it's a skill matchup that at least I'm comfortable with.
yeah. I was
I
actually
play it
really
pretty
comfortable with
frequently.
it, and then just jungle pressure is what
Mhm.
I'll set it. Like I have Zed at like 1 health at some point this game,
Okay.
and Fiddles comes in from the side and fears me and saves him. Like flash alt fears or something. I, I mean, definitely fall for a bait.
Don't do this Q.
Don't.
Yeah, so basically just last hit this with autos. And then hold your Q for when, at least until Zed tries to line up with the minions, and then you can throw it out.
All right.
So your early Qs as Ahri is really important because basically you want to, the 1 and 2, that's where you kind of dominate this matchup. So you want to make sure that you actually do dominate the matchup and at least deny Zed of CS.
Right.
So make him choose that, annoying, do I shuriken for CS, in which case I'm not harassing, or do I harass and not get CS, right? Even though Zed can shuriken often, he's going to miss CS or miss harass either way if you make him make that choice.
Yeah, he's either gonna trade
Yeah.
for gold or for HP.
Yeah, and that's why Zed's level 1 and level 2 is kind of bad because he has to consistently make that choice. Also, always stand in minions against Zed. They really, really nerfed his Q through minions. That was a really good Q. Basically, whenever you're playing against Zed, always stand in the minions because his isolated Q does old amount of Zed damage, while his non-isolated Q does horrific amounts of damage at early ranks. We'll kind of like look at it like damage-wise here. You'll see that basically it does, as you can see, really low amounts of damage if it passes through even a single minion,
Yeah.
right? Like 42 base damage with
Yeah.
like pretty poor scaling. So this is why it's important that, especially at the rank 1 Zed Shuriken, if you get hit by it after it gets hit by a minion, you don't even need to dodge it. Like, it's that weak. He's literally hitting you for 50 damage.
It's like a auto from a caster.
Yeah, it's pretty negligible. Right here, you should be looking to flash charm, kill, uh, at a range. Definitely couldn't have hit it, but that's just a scenario where you would have wanted to look for it.
Yeah.
This charm right here is pretty. Yeah, you can't get the kill, but which sucks. And then he uses shadow in a pretty bad manner. Do you know where Fiddle? Okay, so right here, don't go for a charm. So you go for charm right here, but you should have
Yeah.
known he wasn't gonna last it or walk up or anything. The reason for this is because like
He knows he's gonna
tower.
die.
Well, basically not on that, but the tower isn't even hitting that minion. He has no reason to go and last hit it yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you're gonna go for that kind of predictive charm, make sure it's on the minion that he's trying to currently last hit, so at least you can play that mind game. He didn't have to last hit that minion, so he could just kind of stride along, and he had the advantage in terms of the mind game.
Right.
So I like that recall just because you were kind of like you had pressure, but you had a free recall timing, and now you can just come in, bully the lane. You want to shove in this scenario like you're doing as hard as you can. Oh wow, he stayed. Okay, this said's dummy.
Yep.
But you ended up really far behind in CS. I feel just due to your last hitting, not because you're like your lane control or anything like that. You just lost.
Yeah.
Your last hitting like early was a little bit off. So I don't think your lane control or the way you played your lane was bad, but it was just pure last hitting mechanics.
Yeah, I'm losing a lot of gold because of bad last hitting.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty much all it was.
it always goes down whenever I like play
It-
a lane like this where I really want to harass the fuck out of him. Because I
Yeah.
always underestimate or overestimate my Q damage at like level 1 to 3.
It's really bad, yeah, rank
Yeah.
1. RAQ damage. It's the reason you're doing that is because like RAQ has the damage of a normal Q ability, but it gets split into 2 sections, right? So each section is only doing like 50 damage. Okay, so you're walking into a lot of Zed shadows here. Basically, Zed shadow is a really, really long cooldown early, and so you want to play around it. Pretty much all the time. So whenever he has his shadow up, you should be looking to bait it or walk out of range in some way. And then when it's down, then you can walk back to play aggressively. It's kind of like the basics of the matchup, but you're just not doing it. So right here, you can 100% tell by the way he's walking that he wants to shadow you. And he's had shadow up for a while. And so you should never, like, he could have killed you right here. He just didn't know. Like, imagine if he had actually snapped to his shadow.
Ignite auto.
Yeah, Ignite E auto, he gets the passive auto off, and now you're dead.
Yep.
400 damage. Let's kind of just do the math. So Ignite, 150. E, 80. So 200. And then Thunderlords, don't know how much it does. Probably around 100 right now.
He procced it with the Shuriken and the E. He hit both. So it should be on
No,
cooldown. Oh wow, it's
he
not on
didn't hit
cooldown.
both shurikens, so he just hit the E. He just hit the E and one shuriken. He didn't hit both.
Oh wow.
And then the passive auto attack, so that's around, I don't know, 7% of your max HP. So he'd definitely kill you because Thunderlords hasn't come in yet. And then even if you flash away, he'd flash for one more auto attack.
Yep.
So he could have killed you right there. Basically, in those scenarios, don't ever step forward. You need to step back and out of like shadow range. But yeah, so when playing against Zed, make sure that you're looking to bait shadow whenever it's up. It seems like a really annoying, tedious thing to do, but 22-second base cooldown, really long, right?
Right.
So it's not that much of a pain to play around a 22-second long CD for harass purposes. So right here, he's gonna hit level 6 on you. Nice. Good kill. I just want to
I
see
could have
how
played it
plays out.
better.
Yeah,
I know
he
I
took
could have.
a little bit too much extra damage there.
Yeah.
Boom. I think it's this dash. Yeah.
Yeah.
The unnecessary. Basically, what you have to do in this case, I'll kind of mention you kind of like rush the kill a little bit you when you do that, you need to know he's going to use his ultimate. So this is how the kill should have gone. So you're
Hit
gonna hit
6.
6, and this is a really good Q. So that's just really good, by the way. Like I like this. It means you're definitely paying attention when we're doing this. So boom, and he hits 6, and you know he's 6 right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
At this moment in time, stand still, do nothing. All right,
Yep.
because if he does nothing, he dies. If he ulties to you, you charm him out of the ultimate and you kill him. If he attempts to flash away, you are after him, right?
Right.
So in this particular scenario, if you were to both take your hands off your keyboard, he would die, right? And
Yep.
so you don't need to do anything here.
Yeah, I've already won.
You've already at this moment in time, you've won the all in. It's over. He's lost. He should here not even bother to use anything else because like if he had hindsight, he should know no matter how hard he tries to juke you from this point because you still have two ulti charges, he
Yeah.
can't win.
Yeah,
But
he's
he tries
dead.
it anyways, and then the best thing he could do there is R to you, flash away from your charm, and then attempt to shadow out like he does here. But guess what? You have two charges and your ultimate, right? But here's
Fucking
the thing.
turret.
Yeah. So because you have to go back into tower, and because you had to burn your flash when you didn't have to, which should have just been another ultimate charge, right? You
Yeah.
end up dying. So that's you just not kind of
Planning my all
noticing.
in.
Yeah, that's you not planning the all in. So remember, you play against Zed, you have to respect the fact that he's going to try and ult you back, and just be ready. Just be patient. You knew, like, basically, you know that's the only play that he had, right?
Yep.
So because that's the only play that he had, you just wait for it. And you got lucky here. He goes Dirk. Yasuo fucks you.
Yeah. No, I mean, the win came out of top lane. Kenny was just so strong, he could flash Proto Belt ult and like.
No, but like he actually, he actually fucks you. Like,
Oh, you mean with the wave?
yeah, the wave. He pushes your wave out.
Yeah. No, I mean he like fucks me the whole game.
He
Uh,
pushed your wave out, and then the Zed gets a level advantage on you. It's kind of sad.
he's a fucking idiot. He didn't
Like
really.
the waves, yeah. There's nothing like he just straight up gets a level advantage on you. This roam right here is really forced when your ultimate's down. Should have never been walking towards bottom.
The only reason I went there was because he fucked my wave. I was like, well, what am I gonna do now? Stand in my fucking wave and
Oh, you
die?
go do wolves.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have health pots and you have armor. And, like it's not like you're not going to take any damage in those cases. You just go do wolves. If your ultimate's up, then you can actually like threaten a real roam, but you're not doing anything by you're not applying any actual map pressure if you know if you don't have ultimate.
He baits me right here.
Okay, so he shadows.
Yeah, and then I walk up because his shadow's down.
Ah. This is where you just need to stick to your pink side.
Yes.
So, uh yeah.
Yeah. And he lives off dangerous game. So I'm guessing, yeah, if it'll flash to get the in range.
Yeah. But this is just the importance of actually being on left side. So
Yeah.
right here, you play that pretty well.
I don't know, man. I was pretty far over there. I mean, I guess if that fight would have taken place like right where I'm standing right now,
Yeah.
then Fiddles never gets there, Zed dies, and then
Yeah, it's basically like if you were already on left side, right? And then you
yeah,
did that ulti charge backwards, then you're over here. And
right,
then even if he flashes, you still get the auto off and then you get away. The difference here is that your auto attack gets feared,
right,
right? If that one auto attack goes off, then he dies and you simply get away.
right.
But yeah, so that's like the difference maker was basically those couple extra steps.
Damn. Feels.
It's one of those things like I honestly can't say I would have been playing like far to the left, but if I'm just kind of like the objective,
God damn.
okay, that's embarrassing to watch. He flashed to use a global ultimate. Like I just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. At this point, this game's pretty much over.
Nah, it's not over. 3K deficit's not that big of a deal.
No, I mean, yeah, yeah. If, so here I'm
Did
just like,
you?
yeah, I just ate
Yeah, you just
that.
got massacred by that
Yep.
shuriken combo.
Not gonna lie, like I wouldn't say I'm tilted, but I'm definitely like shaken by that fucking fiddle ult. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
So I'm like, now I'm behind. Now I
The
can't
thing about it
carry.
is it's really hard to play against Fiddlesticks from mid lane. It's the same reason why it's hard to play against Zac. Like, there's so many random angles he can come from in mid lane. It's why you have to look to get basically whenever you're playing against like a Fiddlesticks or a Zac, you need to get wards kind of like over the wall, right?
Yeah,
You need to get them deep because the shallow wards don't help you all that much. Like you have to use them to the best ability you can, but yeah, you need to look to get deep wards when playing against Fiddlesticks, especially. Even the ones just on the Wraith camp are good, like just warding the Wraith camp itself. So you
yes,
start to do that now, which is great. So it's good to see. Just needs to be done. Oh no, you're going for a roam. Never mind. Oh,
missed the charm.
yeah, I missed the charm and the Q. Wouldn't have saved him, but
It might have killed Zed or something. Well, he did. He would have just gone back to his shadow.
yeah, he wouldn't have killed anything. But it's just one of those things where still should have landed.
Yeah.
Okay, so Zed should die here. To use Shadow. Oh, you didn't go for him.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I know Fiddle's there, so I'm like, I'm not fucking falling for that bait. Like, I thought he was over the Wraith wall. So,
Ah.
it might be bad map awareness on me, but I knew he was there because of the,
It's one of those things where like it's the thing you have to note is that it's three people and Janna has ultimate,
yeah,
right? And Zed doesn't have his ult, right? So there's no way that the Fiddlesticks randomly kills you all with Janna having ults and Yasuo being there.
true.
So like boom, right there. Regardless, basically what you should be thinking is regardless of what happens here, you just ulti forward and look to kill the Zed. And if the Fiddlesticks comes cawing over the wall onto the Janna, then she ults him away, right? And then regardless of if the Janna dies or not, you and Yasuo will clean up the rest. So at worst, this ends up a 2-for-1 in my mind, just because Zed doesn't have enough damage.
Right.
No, that's just a long chase. Eat of the Krug. Oh, you didn't eat of the Krug. Okay, this is just okay. Took a while there.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, it's one of those games. Anyways, your team is clawing back a little bit despite how they're playing.
Yeah. This is where I get wrecked by Cannon, I'm pretty sure. I played really poorly this game. It sucks. Just fucking getting wrecked by Zed shadows.
Yeah,
I just like
getting super chunked by those.
yeah.
Basically, the only thing you have to worry about with those Zed shadows is getting hit by both shurikens.
Which I happen to do every time.
Yeah, as long as both shurikens don't land, it's not that much of a harass combo because Thunderlords isn't proccing.
Yeah.
And then the second shuriken does do a significant amount of damage. So the really big thing that's like the difference between getting chunked from 60% to like, 75% or 80% is just getting hit by that second shuriken. Like that's the difference maker. And you go for this play, but then back out. Oh. He exhausts you? Okay. Yasuo walks mid, dies to Zed, who has a Hex Drinker. Questionable.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you're getting hit by every single shuriken combo, like
Yeah.
double shuriken combo. As long as you're not getting hit by both, like I said, the most important thing is to just dodge the second one. As long as you're not getting hit by both, it's pretty negligible.
Yeah, I just eat everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think I was that tilted when I played this game. Like, I was
Yeah,
definitely like not excited about losing my lane because of the gank, but uh, watching the replay, I was definitely a little bit more tilted than I thought.
yeah,
Because
and
I'm
you're
just
getting hit
not
by a
thinking.
lot. Okay, not bad.
Just sucks every time I go back to lane, he just chunks me out, which is like
Yeah,
what he should do.
yeah. Basically, he hasn't like killed you or anything, but he's just applied significantly more pressure than what you have this game.
Yeah. And like now I'm like I don't have an ultimate, so I can't really do anything over here.
Yeah, that doesn't have his either. That's a really good charm.
Can't deny.
Yeah, he flash denied you. Oh,
Yeah.
you head to mid here?
I don't know. Like I don't know what to do.
You should have headed back around to bottom.
Gone around behind the turret and just
Yeah,
look for a charm.
because here's the thing is that your ultimate's coming back up here, and they don't have ultimates. Like they don't have the fiddle ult, right? So
Yeah.
in this particular case, even though these guys are low, you could still defend this tower and at least pull something off.
Yeah. I guess I was thinking.
At the very least, if you committed to just pushing that wave out, you needed to commit to taking the tower.
Right.
Like you just push the wave out and then don't take the tower, or at least pressure the tower in any way. You had ultimate, so you shouldn't have been too scared of dying. But basically, whenever like making that decision isn't too bad, but note that you need to trade tower for tower if you're doing that.
Right.
Like, you absolutely need trade tower for tower.
I've decided like at this point like my win condition is to peel for Jinx, but I end up making a really shitty play that goes
Yeah,
against my win condition, which
feeling for Jinx is kind of the only play you have. Oh wow, you guys
yeah.
got cannoned.
Yeah, look at that fucking damage. It sucks because you can't even react to it. Like
Yeah.
if you stun him, his damage still goes off. And when like once
Well,
it's
right here, this should have just been basically right here. The chase is just bad.
yeah.
Like the only like Kennen isn't like too much like you guys have Janna, so like that Kennen can be stopped. But it's this moment right here where you should have been like, this is dumb, and just not gotten hit by it. Because any Kennen player ever would have gone for this.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
this isn't a difficult decision to make. If you were an Ari, you would have done the same thing, right? Like let's say you were an Ari on the opposite team.
Yeah, there's oh,
You
look,
would have
triple
gone for this.
carry.
Yeah, triple squish carries just walking by. One of them half HP with no mana. Like even if he wasn't a Kennen, he'd like any single mid laner would have gone for that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's mostly on you, just completely disrespecting uh, the champion that was just in front of you. It's just a tunnel vision, really.
Hmm.
Also, that Jinx chat was awful. And the fact that Rumble didn't all earlier is awful. But again, these are mistakes from your team. You getting hit in this wombo, that's on you.
Absolutely. I fucking hate Proto Belt.
It's a pretty OP item, like stat wise.
The proc on it makes it crazy,
Yeah,
or whatever the Gunblade proc. I played against
yeah,
the AP Shaco mid with Proto Belt today, and it was just like fucking cancer.
it's pretty good. I think the problem with it is the inherent flaw with a burst oriented tank item. Like to me, the proto belt shouldn't have HP on it, if that makes
Yeah,
sense. Like that you shouldn't be able to build an item that provides you with burst and health. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay, so let's check this team fight out because you played a little bit weird.
I went for a pick and I just kind of fucked up.
Yeah, so you missed the charm and then you just ulti away. That was pretty good. The thing about it is you'd already just gone way too far away.
Yeah.
So, for whatever reason, you just freak the fuck out when this starts. But you have Zanya's here, like, and
I didn't.
I'm not even sure what you're particularly scared of. Do you see this fiddle charging his ult? Is that what it is?
I don't know. I think so. I think I know he's there, but I don't think I see him. I'm like, oh fuck! I just went in and he's coming.
Yeah, I think the correct move from you was like basically you would have wanted to spear like regardless of if you thought Fiddlesticks was over this wall. Like, say you do know it's warded, you should spear rush to the left. You can see how she's cut off, right? Like these two are split off. Kennen can't help them Misfortune. Fiddlesticks wouldn't
Yeah.
be able to help them Misfortune. This guy wouldn't be able to help them Misfortune. And she can't even herself step backwards, meaning that you can't miss any of your skill shots here.
Right.
So you should have spear rushed forward and to the left, picked off MF right here, and then just cleaned up the rest of the team fight as their dive fails. So you see, like this move, that should have happened
When I
earlier.
spirit rush backwards.
Yeah, so basically the difference maker here is that this spear rush can't. Yeah, basically you weren't able to get into MS range and kill her in time.
Yeah.
And if she's dead there, then Jinx is able to just pop
Watch
off.
this lucky ass ult.
Oh my god, that's the luckiest triple kill I've ever.
Yeah, she's just trying to kill Fiddle, and
And
Fiddle
she
moves out of the way
misses.
and fucking hits
Yeah.
somebody. Yeah.
Oh shit, that was lucky. Like actually,
I'm gonna put that shit on Reddit.
yeah, it's actually super lucky. The what? The Zed just kill her. Just dodge the auto attack with your ult and then slice her.
I
Right,
don't
so
know.
right here you should be going into Morelos,
Yep.
because, like you said, you're now peeling in these team fights and you're not looking to really one-shot anyone.
Yeah, and I make a mistake because Zed walks up to the tower and I flash charm him and ends up getting my whole team killed because I didn't look at the tower health before I did it.
Nice. Okay, you're playing these team fights really, really scared. You haven't like when you have Zanya's, you're not using it aggressively.
Right.
So like right here, bam. It's fine to R out here. I wouldn't bother personally, but
You just.
and then yeah, basically you use your Zanya's instead of having to use an extra charge.
Right.
Now, of course, again, the Rumble's ulting late, and he's playing the team fight really shit. But basically, when you dash in like that, what you should do is you should dash in, do your whole combo, and then when you think you're gonna die, Zanya's. And then, while you're in Zanya's, then you can decide, do I continue to ulti forward for the kill, or do I just ulti back, right? And so being able to make that decision, it's useful. Like that's the difference between Zanya'sing in that scenario or just like preemptively ulting backwards. And when you ulti backwards, it means that you can't dash twice forward.
Right.
So think about Zanyas as kind of like a replacement for having to dash out when you're going for forward picks like that.
Okay. Does Tom Kench get a speed boost when he eats somebody?
No, I remove that. He just has Swifty, so he runs naturally quickly.
Moves fast for a fat man.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, they had to take that mechanic out because it was a little bit silly.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I ate him, and I'm faster than you. Like later.
Yeah, a little bit too broken.
The fucking Tom Kench will definitely tilt you off the fucking face of the earth.
Yeah, a lot of the supports right now are really like they really deny single target picks. There's Braum's meta, TK's meta, Tarek's meta, so the single target pick champions really don't have a lot of fun when playing against those kind of supports. So right here, you should just be worried about pushing waves out and staying near Jinx for charms.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Yep, which is fine. The only thing you can really do. I see you got a needlessly large rod.
Yeah, I was not gonna. I was like, I started to go for more AP, and then I remembered like what my win condition was, and I switched. I was like, oh
Okay.
fuck. I ended up completing Morello's before I get it.
Okay.
I think I just
That's
wanted
good.
to like pack more punch because I already have 20% CDR.
Yeah, that's like that decision is okay.
I
The
think.
that decision would have been okay if like the rest of your team comp is literally full damage and Jinx hit 3 items. So I don't think you need to pack more punch. I think you just need more charms in this particular case.
Right.
Plus, Rallos does give a fair amount of AP. Like it
Yeah.
does give you 100. So
Yep.
it's
As
quite nice
opposed
to
to
have.
120. Yeah. So here's where I get my team killed. And if I would have just done nothing here, we probably would have just been fine.
Yeah, this is where you have to realize that like your comp's just scaling up. When the Yasuo and the Jinx scale to such lengths where like they have to kill them or lose, and then all you guys need to do is lay down that Rumble ult, lay down that Janna ult to peel them back, and then you charm, and then chase. Like that's when you guys just win this game. So note that the other team's technically on a clock, despite having better team fight than you guys. And the other thing you have to realize is, what's the other team's win condition? It's fight you guys, right? Because
Yeah. They
they
have
can't
garbage
siege it.
range.
Yeah, they can't siege the tower. They have to dive. In this particular case, it's hard to coordinate a dive versus Janna Rumble,
Yep.
right? Like it's very scary for anyone to pull the trigger. And so that indecision means that all they're going to be able to look to do is bait you around Baron. So that's the only play that they have. And so because that's the only play that they have, when you're behind, you just kind of say, "All right, go for that play or we'll just keep delaying and keep getting our items." Like you technically don't want to fight right here because your team's got a lot of items to complete. You need to finish your Morellos. Rumble needs to get that Abyssal completed. Janna needs to get her Aegis completed 100%. That needs to be done. You know, and Yasuo needs to get his third item as well.
Yep.
So you forcing a fight here. Yeah, and the tower's super weak. And
Yep.
everyone got chunked here. Do you actually go for a fast charm?
I think so. I think he steps up and I like go for it because he's low.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, right as the tower dies. The other thing you need to know, so this is when you do a good Zanyas, but this is when that's a really, really bad play.
Yeah.
Note what kind of team comp you have. Again, you guys don't dive in. You have absolutely like zero follow up to you doing this engage. Yasuo isn't real follow up, right? Because no one's doing a knock up, and the Rumble ultimate is like pretty, bad. And then here's the other downside to you doing this. What happens when you initiate on a single target like that? Everyone
Yeah.
clumps.
Yeah.
Everyone clumps, right? You clump, the Yasuo clumps, and the Rumble clumps, and then no one is with the Jinx,
Yep.
right? And then what do they have? Oh, they have what's Kennen good at?
Killing
I
people
mean,
or all in
no, well,
diving.
he's good at re-engaging,
Yeah.
right? He's good at when the other team engages, he comes in, splits up the fight. MF stops re-engages. Fiddlestick stops re-engages. But note that Fiddlestick's ultimate isn't a good engage without flash, right? Kennen ultimate not a good engage without flash. Again, MF ultimate not that good used offensively, better used when people are coming at you. So when you look at the other composition, they're best at when people run into them. And you guys are best when people run into you. And so that's kind of like the difference maker for kind of like that comp, where it's kind of like who pulls the trigger first loses.
Yep.
And then you pulled the trigger and your team lost, especially because look how much health you guys have. You
Yeah.
engaged when everyone's at like half HP and Jinx wasn't even there initially. This is exactly what happens whenever you engage. So first of all, Jinx wasn't close enough to even auto the Z once, right?
Mhm.
So if she was in range, Zed would have died. Now here's the downside to what you did. Everyone has to be in this area, and meaning that MF ult can't miss, Fiddlesticks ult can't miss, right? Kennen ult gonna hit everyone. Everyone gets obliterated.
Yep.
And note how close the team fight was. And Jinx, I think, maybe got one auto attack off. If she
Yeah.
gets 2 to 3 auto attacks off,
It's an ace.
it's an ace. So This just comes down to, and this has been I guess, a reoccurring problem to you, where you're forcing plays when it's not your turn to be forcing plays. And this causes a lot of your losses. And the thing about it is you feel like these games are losses anyway, so you don't particularly see it as a large error. Because like in your mind after this game, you're like, oh man, like, this game kind of sucks, but it's a wash, right? But this game was, even with the kind of, like, at that point the game's over, right? Goal difference is too big. But before then, you guys had a chance. Like this game was winnable because Jinx was super fed, and when there's a super fed Jinx and solo queue, you guys are gonna be able to clean up.
Yep.
Especially with how squishy their composition is. It's a no tank composition, where they only have Tom Kench. Boom.
I missed the return to
Charm.
the queue.
Yeah,
If I had
which
ignite,
which makes a difference. But basically, you're just really, really weak there.
yeah.
So missing the return damage on the Q costed you that. The Fiddlesticks coming in just at the right second costed you that. But really, you're just super weak.
Yeah.
But look how much damage the Jinx is doing, right? Like, she is worth peeling for.
Yeah. 100%.
Uh, and you see how hard it is? Look, they forced this 4v5, right? They forced this 4v5, and look how sloppy it is. Look how hard it is for them to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was legitimately hard and really sloppy for them to pull that off. And now they're kind of like all getting crushed. So if you're there for these kind of scenarios, just charming the Fiddlesticks so he can't walk forward, charming the Kennen after his Zhonya's, charming the Zed out of his ultimate, it makes the world a difference. Uh, in that particular case, you charmed super early. Should have charmed right after your ulti came up. I think
Mm-hmm.
you're just really tilted. But
Yeah. No, I mean
so basically, right here, you don't charm at all. You charm after your ultimate, right? Like this
Mm-hmm.
is kind of basic. So you wait for your ulti, and right here, you just ulti into him and then charm his face and kill him.
Right.
But instead, you kind of like waste the charm, and then that was actually good positioning. But you should have never gotten Eden, and then it was a free kill in the cannon after that.
Yeah.
But the difference maker there was just you didn't hold charm. But at this point, I think you're tilted, and I don't really see the point of watching the rest of this. So we'll grab a different replay.
No, I just make it. I mean, pretty much they stack it up mid and then just dive us because they're so much stronger.
Oh yeah. And let's grab the other one. So what was the other game?
I think it's a Pantheon game, or
The
we
Pantheon.
it's
Yeah, let's watch the
293. Yeah, because
just so you can get some Pantheon knowledge in there.
yeah, I need it. Because like I feel the power, but like there's very fundamental things that I'm doing incorrect that are like costing me, just fucking
Yeah.
crushing
So
people.
watch a little bit because of course there are some small tricks to trading.
Yeah. This is another game that I just kind of fucking played full retard on after I lost. Like I lost lane, I was like derp.
Yeah. So it seems that like for you, like losing lane becomes like a really big trigger for like losing game because you tend to lose concentration and lose sight of what's happening. Whenever you lose lane, you tend to just play the same. You don't really like adapt upon losing lane to a more supportive role. And you did it a little bit, but you then again like I think both times you lapsed on your judgment, like put the nail in the coffin for your team.
Yeah, if I wouldn't lapse on my judgment, then I probably win that game. Because
Yeah.
it's actually
And
a
those
really
like
easy win
basically
condition.
yeah, it's not a complicated one, right?
Yep.
Okay, so against Yasuo and then Fiddlesticks, again, pretty annoying to play against Fiddle.
Yeah. I think I've lost to him 3 times today. Or
Yeah, he's
no.
really good in solo queue.
Yep. I lost to him that game. I started banning him after this game.
Yeah, I
So I was
don't
just
like I said,
like,
I don't think he necessarily needs a ban. Um,
do you go longsword refillable or do you usually go corrupting? Because I feel like I'm running
I
myself
go
out of
corrupting.
mana.
I go
Yeah.
corrupting. I go corrupting, and I've been fiddling around, pun not intended, with going the mana regeneration talent instead of merciless. Um, but yeah, so I've been screwing around with going the mana regeneration talent just for even better, like lane harass.
I feel like I
But
all in too early there. Or I ignited too early for sure.
yeah, you ignite too early, but ends up getting you some lane pressure, which is okay. This is just kind of weird. The Fiddlesticks stole your Gragas' red, but you shouldn't die from something like this. You stunned too early.
Yeah, this isn't what kills me. It's this play coming up.
Oh, okay, so you guys skirmish.
Yeah.
This is bad. That was just a bad. Oh, that was just a bad idea by Gragas.
And then Oriana misses. She fucking short
Wait,
balls.
she short balls, doesn't shield, and doesn't heal. That's pretty lame. All right, so let's watch what happens here. So he misses the barrel. Then you chain that pretty well. Can't say you played that poorly.
If I was level 3 and not level 2, we win that fight 100%. But
Yeah,
I wonder if I
yeah.
should take...
If you had ignite as well.
Yeah. And then she dies to Yasuo. And then
Yeah.
the game's
Okay.
over.
So that's just really, really, really unfortunate. Like I said, I would have grabbed refillable. Not refillable, corrupting potion. I think that makes a big difference.
It would have made the mana difference in that fight. Like to
Yeah,
throw
but you'd
another
also be
Q.
on higher HP, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and not igniting, like not wasting the ignite. So I can't say like you could like with what the tools you were given, you played that wrong. It was just a bunch of like small stuff. You ignited too early. There you stunned too early. You need to make use of chaining your passive, okay? So note that your W reapplies your passive, and that's an important part of Pantheon's early game.
Okay.
So the way you should do it is he walks up to you, right? He uses wind wall,
Yep.
and then you don't stun him there. You auto attack, Q, and then when he breaks the passive, then you stun him on his animation for his next auto.
Right.
Okay. So what by doing that, and you can time it really well. So basically, you stun his next auto animation, thus canceling it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then your passive reapplies, meaning that then his third auto attack gets blocked as well. And then because you're auto attacking in between, you're charging your passive even more, and you can get a triple essentially block like 4 of his auto attacks.
And you just keep orb blocking
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
juke the Qs. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, the Qs are also blocked by the passive.
Oh, nice.
It blocks on-hit effects.
But if you juke
So-
them, then you get...
Yeah, at juke him, it helps even more. So if you're juking the Qs and you're, like I said, you basically want to let him auto attack you and then stun him
Right.
on his next auto animation, and that will help you get better trades versus melee champions. So of course it doesn't block the NATO, but it blocks the
It blocks the Q damage.
yeah, blocks the Q damage. So for
I see,
example,
that's
it blocks
really bad.
Renekton stun, which is why Pantheon versus Renekton is an impossible matchup for Renekton.
Huh.
Like the stun effect gets blocked too. Same thing for gold card. Like gold card gets blocked. So boom. So right there, you should have stunned him before he tossed that off. It's all about when you're playing Pantheon. It's all about just, you know, stunning after your passive drops.
Right.
Like when you know he's committed to a trade. So like right here, it should just be like stun Q auto, walk away. Instead, he gets a really efficient trade on you.
I gotta imagine I'll be really good at this in like 30 games. Like,
Yeah.
he's not hard to play at all. Like,
No,
the
he's
first game I
not
played, I just fucking wrecked everyone's face.
Yeah, he's not hard. It's about coming out on top in those early skirmishes. Like basically, like when you edge out an early skirmish on Pantheon, you like end the game. So it's all about getting really smooth with your combos and making use of your passive to just fuck with people.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I should have had him. Like, no, you weren't
Yeah.
even fucking close.
So like trades like that are just like kind of weird. You want to just walk up to people and bait the passive and then stun.
Gotcha. Yeah, see,
Of
I'm
course.
like, I'm playing fucking like silver mode where I'm like, use all my abilities, walk away.
Yeah. So you kind of like you spear him, right, which is fine. And then now what you do is you walk up to him and you auto him, right?
Yep. And then you spear him again.
Yeah, and then you spear him again, and if he tries to auto you back, that's when you stun him, or when you think you're gonna go for the kill. So in this scenario, like this is a win for you.
Yeah, this should be a kill, right?
Potentially a kill. I'd say probably.
I have
'cause
flash
you
and he
still have
doesn't.
flash ignite, and he doesn't. So what you do is you walk up, you auto him. If he tries to fight you back, then what you actually do, and you know you're gonna win, you still don't stun. You E, okay? and then when he tries to walk away, you use your stun as the gap closer,
Okay.
right? So you keep fighting him, and then you kind of just bait the stun as, okay, now I'm gonna turn the fight. So either it's kind of like the same thing with Ari, right? When I told you to charm when he commits to fighting you, or charm him when he leaves, you stun when he commits to the fight, or you stun when he commits to leaving. In between this phase, you're going to win,
Yeah.
right? So like if this keeps happening where he's just kind of watching you run at him throwing spears, he's just gonna get chunked out, right? And then you can hit him with the stun and chase him down. If he's gonna fight you straight up, that's when you do the passive reset with the stun, right? So
Hmm.
right here, when you stun him like this gives him the option to just leave. In this particular case, I may have just chased him down. I
Yeah.
think a win here. I
I'm
actually
kind of.
think 100% win here.
I agree. I have Flash Ignite, and
Yeah,
I'm
you
level
you have
4, so
flash.
it's 110 damage.
Yeah, I think you. Let's see here.
It,
So 400. And this does 130, and this does, let's just say 100.
130.
Yeah, 130, but just math-wise, just say 100. And he's got 400 HP. I definitely think you get this kill. Like, you're gonna get two spears off, right? So the two spears, yeah, you're gonna get two spears off, 100%, during this, like, time frame. So, which is 100 damage, and 130 damage. And he has 400 health. So you basically just need to get two auto attacks off.
Yep, so it'd be like spear. Well, I would have walked up auto. If I would have played it correctly, I definitely would have
You
got the kill.
Yeah,
Even
you
playing.
had an extra auto, and then you could have auto speared at the end. So you definitely get that kill if you walk up. And then, like I said, so it's about using the stun properly, right? Either as a gap closer to keep up with him, or using it to just clinch out the close 1v1 by resetting his auto attack, and then also getting the extra passive proc in. So he's staying for some reason. This should be a kill for you. Yeah. Him doing this should just be a kill. But he hit 6. I still wouldn't be scared.
Yeah, I just kind of like run away instead of fighting my
Oh.
minion wave.
Yeah, you just need to fight. Okay. So here's all you had to do here. So you just needed to fight in this massive minion wave. Even when he hit 6, this is when you hit him with the Pantheon special. You block three of his auto attacks. He's 6 here, and you know he's gonna all in you, but you should know this isn't going to work,
Yeah.
right? So you can kind of like play it dumb, and then this is when you step back in the mini wave and you crush him. You have ignite advantage, right? And you're gonna be able to block 3 of his auto attacks.
Is it worth
There's no
flashing
way.
to dodge his knockup?
Yeah, you could do that too. Um, Flashing the knockup would guarantee, but I don't think it's necessary. I think you just win straight up. Because you're just gonna end up blocking 2 auto attacks, and then you can kind of flash at the last second if you would like.
Yeah. This Orianna fucking sucked.
Yeah, but I mean, you
This is,
definitely could kill the Pantheon, or definitely kill the Yasuo there.
yeah. Well, this is really good because like
Hmm.
I mean, this is my second game as Pantheon.
Oh
And
yeah, like I'm not expecting you to be a Pantheon expert. There's not a lot to him, but like I said, if you're looking for like how to optimize Panth, it's really about
this
passive
block.
management in the early game, making you come out on top of trades where people just don't expect it. So, keeping your passive up and then just baiting those triple shield trades. So, boom.
Yeah,
So,
nice time
a
bit.
trade like that, you see, like you actually did it there and inadvertently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'll watch it again. You'll notice that you actually end up winning it. So he comes in on you, right? And then boom. Oh, okay, you did it. You did it one step too early.
Yeah.
So basically, if you had gone the auto attack off there and then waited maybe half a second, then stunned him, then, but you know how like the trade still goes well with you, despite the fact that he's just like crazy up on levels and items. Like
Yeah.
that's just the passive doing work. Boom. I think it happened there. Let me see. So right here, you're gonna get your passive off. So you should have speared him on his way in here.
Yeah.
So the passive gets blocked, and then you reapply it with your stun. Yeah, it doesn't happen again. You're losing out on a lot of efficiency of the Pantheon early game.
Well, Yeah, I'll definitely be looking for that next because that's fucking insane. That's just broken.
Yeah, the fact that like you see how OP it is, right? You joust him with the auto attack, right? So you go 1 for 1 on the auto. Then you wait for his next auto animation and stun to interrupt it. Now he gets stunned, has to come out of the auto animation and use another auto, which in case that gets blocked, and then you just do a passive in the normal way, right? Just by auto attacking or using 4 abilities, and then
Yeah,
another auto attack gets blocked. So you've essentially blocked 3 out of his 4 auto attacks in a small trade.
which is crippling.
Well,
Like,
yeah, you're actually interrupting 4 out of 5. My bad, because you stun the auto animation on one of them. So you end up going ahead by like because you're autoing this whole time. So you get the first auto, then you get the auto attack while he's stunned, and then you get 2 more auto attacks. So you end up going like 5 autos to 1 on top of spear damage.
yeah, then
So
you get him to 30% or whatever, and you just it's like
yeah,
Zed,
then
you
you
just
crit him.
execute him. Yeah,
Yeah, so basically, whenever if you're doing it properly, you're trading 5 autos to 1. That's pretty good. Also, only put 3 points into spear and then max E.
oh really?
Yeah, don't
Why?
fully max the spear. E is the highest base damage of any non-ultimate ability in the game, meaning that you want to max it up first because it's doing the highest DPS possible for Pantheon.
Does that ever change in certain matchups? Like,
No, it's always 3 spear max E.
so do you? So does that mean after you stun you E right away, or do you stun auto E?
In the early game, you stun auto E. In team fights, you don't bother weaving the auto in.
Gotcha.
Nah, that was just meh.
Yeah, well, I realized it after I did it. Like, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna work," and then, like, as I was in the air, I was like, "Oh, the minion wave is gonna fuck me."
Yeah.
Watch this. This is like tilting.
Okay,
Where's the
so watch
fucking
this.
EQW? This is
Alright,
when I
so
messaged you. I was like, "My Oriana has a 3 minute reaction time."
yeah,
So she
okay.
walked away to reset it, and I'm pretty sure everything's up.
Right here, yeah, auto E Q.
She
You did that
EWs.
wrong.
Oh.
You need an EQ in those scenarios, by the way, because E can't crit.
Ah. So
Q
when
can
she hits
crit.
that point, you. Oh, so you. What I do? I W
Yeah,
Q
well, watch
autoed.
it. Yeah,
E.
you W auto EQ. You W auto QE.
Are you saying
So
what I
this is
do or
also a
what you're
scenario that if
correctly
you
supposed
had,
to do?
yeah. So basically, a lot of the things you have to remember is that like auto attacks and Q crit while E doesn't. So watch
Yeah.
when you're trying to use E as an execute. So this is a scenario where having an extra point into E would have netted you the kill as well. Okay, so
Do you
watch it.
flash
Boom.
Q then W? Because she doesn't have
Yeah,
flash up? Yeah, that would
yeah.
have been better too.
So that's generally what you want to do because they have the same range. And so you can just kind of like
Can you?
Q and then buffer, and then you can auto E, and then that'll kill. But yeah, so watch it. So you auto, and then spear, and then you E. What it should have
Yeah.
done is auto E, and then when you see him in the execute range, you throw the Q and just bop her. All right, so notice how like low she is. This is
Yeah.
like if you would crit her with the Q, she's dead here.
Yeah,
So it's
or.
kind of unlucky,
And
and she
that just
does
takes
shield you.
forever.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it should have been like immediately. Like as
yeah,
soon
it
as
should
she
have been.
she should have known that I was gonna go for that and just like been ready on the trigger with the E. Because if she just E's me, like it's a fucking give.
Yeah, yeah.
Annie should
But
just
just
walk
know that your
away.
combo is just like a little bit unsmooth. So yeah,
Yeah.
whenever you're going for flash plays like that, and you know they don't have flash, you can go for flash Q stun into auto E, auto,
Okay.
and then in other scenarios you can flash stun into EQ.
I just kind of like throw away top lane at this point, which is really bad. Because I guess
Yeah,
Yasuo spent a lot of time roaming, and I'm just like,
yeah. So at this point, you're a little bit tilted, and you kind of threw away the lane. There's no way to come back now because it's slow pushed, and he's gonna catch the wave.
yeah,
At
that's
this
what I'm
point, the
like.
game's kind of done for you.
Yep.
Um,
A lot of it is like not knowing how to play Pantheon. But this
Yeah.
will definitely help a lot. Like I'll be a lot more conscious. Like I wouldn't expect my next game to be super smooth, but
Yeah, it's something to work on. Like if you're looking for like a Pantheon mechanic that's gonna make a big difference, like as far as I'm concerned, like that's the most important one in the early game. It's just passive management, right? So I will definitely see you next time, and I'll talk to you later. Okay?
yep. Later, brother.
Peace.